Okay, mine. Yeah! Waiting out there. I saw the we're doing bigger splashes. Splash!
Hi there! My name is Caroline and I work at the Austin Nature and Science Center. During the school year, I work at the Nature's Way preschool. I have experience in both Waldorf and Montessori approaches, and I have a bachelor's degree in education. In this video, we're going to be discussing the fundamental importance of play, the benefits of independent play, and how to foster it at home and at school. Free, child-centered independent play is an important part of a daily routine. It's a time for your child to play alone. It's something that can happen outside or inside, in your backyard, or in nature. Before we get too much into specifics about independent play, it's important to identify play as several things. True play, as defined by psychologists, is spontaneous, freely chosen by children, and kid-directed. Play activities are intrinsically motivated, with no external goal or reward. So true play is fundamentally child-led. It's a behavior driven by an internal desire, and it's naturally satisfying. Secondly, play is an innate drive towards growth and development. It promotes social, emotional, physical, linguistic, and cognitive development. It's an important part of healthy brain development. It creates confidence, creativity, artistic expression, imagination, body awareness, and problem-solving skills. It also helps children emotionally process their world. Play is such an important aspect of childhood that it's been recognized by the United Nations as a right of every child. It is our responsibility as a society to be sure that children have the social and environmental context that enhances play. While playing with your child is important and it can produce a very healthy and enduring relationship, it's also important for your child to have some time to play alone. There's so many benefits to independent play for both the child and the adult. As an adult, it can be very useful if you need some time to get some things done, or maybe even need some self-care time. Chances are, if you're always the one engaging your child in play, you're probably feeling pretty exhausted. Independent play has so many benefits for the child as well. When play is led and directed by the child, that is when true learning happens. Independent play helps children develop many important skills. First of all, it helps them to develop autonomy and self-reliance. It enhances their ability to trust in themselves, problem solve, and learn things on their own. When children play independently, they learn that there isn't always an adult guide for everything. This form of play also helps to establish self-confidence. When children have autonomy, that means they have freedom to make choices that have an effect on their world. They can pursue their interests and ideas and take healthy risks that lead to discovery. They learn that they can imagine something and actualize it themselves, which turns out is a pretty useful skill when they become an adult. Independent play is open-ended, and it gives children the freedom to experiment and discover things on their own. This helps in fostering creativity. Lastly, independent play helps to develop self-regulation. Self-regulation is a child's ability to manage their behaviors, emotions, body movements, and attention. Self-regulation leads to self-control and long-term academic and emotional success. Studies show that self-regulation develops most rapidly in children ages 3 to 7, so it's a very important skill to focus on in early childhood. Letting kids explore their environment, and attempt problem solving on their own teaches this skill. It's something that usually presents itself as a natural drive in children as they are absorbed in this kind of play. Independent play will be most successful if it's a part of your daily routine. So maybe it's after an outside playtime or a walk, or maybe before or after lunch. You will have the most success with this if the child can predict it. It might take some time to figure out what schedule works best for you. Now we're going to talk about your role as an adult. Remember, as an adult, it's really important to tread lightly on children's play. As I said earlier, play is spontaneous, kid-directed, freely chosen by children with no external goal or reward. It's something that's intrinsically motivated. So that means that maybe at first, to get your child engaged, you need to help them initially. But it's important that they're the ones coming up with the ideas. So you may ask them questions to help them develop a scene or a character. It's just really important that you don't engage so much that when you step away, their play dissipates. If when you step away, they're having a hard time engaging with independent play, it may also mean that they're craving some extra one-on-one attention, and it's important to give it to them. But in the future, it's also good to reserve another time that isn't a part of your independent play routine to give them that attention. It's so important to avoid praise when it comes to children's play. Sometimes praise can encourage certain behaviors, but when it comes to children's play, it can actually limit it. Independent play should be about the child and not about your approval. If you give them praise, they may start doing things to get your praise, and in this way, it limits the intrinsically motivated part of play. You really want play to be intrinsically motivated, and if it's not, it may not even really be true play. The next thing we're going to talk about is the language and attitudes you use when you're setting up this routine. It's really important to use positive language and a positive attitude. So saying, I need to get work done, so you need to go play now, is different than just saying, time to play now. And again, having a routine will really help with this. So there's a lot of reasons why children might have a hard time getting started in independent play. Like I said earlier, it may be that they need more attention, or maybe they need a little help getting started. Another reason that it may be hard for them is they may need more or less space from you. Some people have a hard time turning away, and that's okay. The amount of space that you give a child should be proportional to what they can handle. But you shouldn't be so close that you're limiting their ability to engage themselves. There's also a possibility that you're too far from them and they won't feel comfortable enough being alone to explore and play. It's a really delicate balance. And it's something that will gradually change and grow as your child gets older and becomes more comfortable. Maybe at first you're next to your child, maybe reading a book as they play, and then as you notice that they're engaged, you quietly step away and you're in an area just a little bit further away from them in the same room. As they get older and more comfortable, maybe you can be in the next room over and within earshot. Just remember at the beginning not to veer too far. It's really important that you figure out the balance that works best for you and your child. Children are naturally driven towards this type of play. So if they're having a hard time engaging, it could also be that they're so used to entertainment, technology, and adult direction. In our society, we're so used to being entertained. It can be really hard to transition from a place of entertainment to a place of creativity and imagination. Because these things are so rampant in our culture, we came up with a few ideas to help you engage your child in independent play. One thing that can be really helpful is just having a playmate. It may seem counterproductive because we're trying to engage in independent play, but children learn so much from each other, and having a playmate can be really beneficial in so many ways. It can also help children engage with their environment in the future. The other child can present new and interesting ways to look at something. Having a tangible form of time can be really helpful when you're trying to engage your child in independent play. Maybe that means it's a sand hourglass and they can watch the time passing and then it doesn't seem like a never-ending period of time for them. Ideally, the environment is engaging enough for the child that they're interested enough to engage themselves in independent play. If things are getting stale, you could always add something like a sparkly box or stickers or maybe a really pretty pom-pom, and then they're going to be really interested in trying to find a way to use that thing. Remember that boredom is actually okay. You don't always have to jump in and fix your child's boredom. Think of boredom as an opportunity for your child to find their own direction. Really, it's just a transition period. Encouraging your child to make their own plaything can often help them engage. They could make a doll out of a paper plate or a piece of cardboard. You could always start your independent play by reading a book. Books often help to engage children's imagination and get them started thinking about their own storytelling capabilities. And perhaps ways they could act them out. Here are a few books that can help children get their creative juices flowing. I hope that this video has given you a greater understanding of independent play, how to foster it, and how important it is. And hopefully it can be useful to you in your current situation. Our next video is going to be about how to create an indoor environment for independent play. I hope you'll join us.